This is tomorrow's shir, Friday. This is a shir about tzedakah, okay? So don't get fooled by the very beginning. Everybody knows what the Gemara says. Any person who has a habit of coming every day to shul, and one day he fails to appear, the Eibishter asks about him. As the Pasuk says, who amongst you is a fearer of God, and so forth. Now, says the Alter Rebbe, this is not limited dafka to going to shul, it's true of all of the mitzvahs. And this idea that if a person is accustomed to giving tzedakah and then on one occasion fails to do so, the Eibush asks about him, is true of all mitzvahs and especially tzedakah. Why especially tzedakah? Because sheshkula keneged kol mitzvahs, because it's equal to all the mitzvahs. And the same is true of tefillin, hukshkol terakul tefillin, and mezuzah, hukshkol terakul mezuzah. There's a lot of mitzvahs that are called kol kol terakul, but one of them is tzedakah. Now, hagam shibli nedachas v'shalom. Although when a person gives tzedakah, he's God forbid to say he's giving tzedakah as a vow. And therefore, you cannot say he has a chiyuv to give it, even though the Eibush is going to ask him, nevertheless, because you know that the Eibush is going to ask you, so, kol hachayil, any warrior, any serious Jew, that their heart was touched by fear of God, it's undesirable to their godly soul. They should not want in their neshama to give migrois less deficient from the measure of holiness to this that they become accustomed to giving each year, to give away from their ma'oid, from their wealth. Lahach is to give life, to ruach shvelim, the spirit of those who are physically lowly, vinidkoim, and they're crushed by poverty. The lays like migamein, they have none of their own. He and who are these people? Bechinas sukas david and efaz, those who are living in Eretz Yisrael, which is called sukas david and efaz, the hut of David the Melech, which has collapsed. And of course, when you're giving them tzedakah, you are affecting lekemam or lareimam v'chuli, to raise them up and to lift them up through the tzedakah. That they should be one. They should be like us. They should also have what to eat. So the Alter Rebbe says, I know that you only give tzedakah b'li neder, but still, since you're consistent about giving, you should understand that the Eibush is expecting you to continue giving, and you shouldn't stop. And he says two things. Number one, it matters how often you give, right? It's better to give many times smaller amounts. But number two, well, it also matters how much you give. The Gemara says, we had it earlier in Gerza Kedesh, I think it's again the Kedesh Siman Gimel, called Pruta, Mitzarefes a Cheshvan Gadol. Every penny adds up to a great Cheshvan, yes. But the Alter Rebbe is going to explain Lefirei v'Cheshvan api Kabbalah. In other words, api Pashtus, Akelef v'Maisa means give many times, and Akelef v'Cheshvan means give a lot. He's going to explain both of those concepts in a Pnimiyas Dika'if. Listen to this. The Gemara says, that each prut that you give adds up to a great amount. And he says, what's the pshat in this? What's the pshat? And the Emes says, this is what he says over here, he said before in Kedesh Gimel. The Gemara says, right? The Pasuk says, God is great and praised when he's in the city of God. So the Gemara says, God Hashem. One is the Eibush the Great, when Hashem descends to the level of the city of God. In other words, He bechinas makam hacheshbon, is the place where there's numbers, calculation, kamos. Your eyes are blessed with cheshbon, and the point is as follows. There's madregas and alakus that are Ein Sof. Ein Sof is higher than Mispah, there's no number. Now there's a good thing and a bad thing about Ein Sof. The good thing about Ein Sof is that it's infinite. The bad thing about Ein Sof is that you can't chew it. You have to cut it up into pieces. So the Chazal say, Cheshbon means to bring down the Ein Sof into a level where there's numbers. In other words, into a level of Gevul, a level of Cheshbon. Just like the Eibush does only praise Be'ir Elikenu when he comes onto the city of God, which is Medida V'Agbala, they were able to relate to him. And that's when we say his greatness. Cheshbon means you want to bring down the blessings of the Eibush from the level which is higher than Cheshbon. Even though that's more, to a madrega of cheshbon, because only then were you able to get it. And the way it works is when you give a lot of tzedakah, and when you give tzedakah very frequently, you're being mamshach the birchas alakus from a madrega which is higher than cheshbon into a madrega of cheshbon. In Yossi Kedesh Gimel. It's not all the same. It's the same point twice, just two times. Okay. The pshat is as follows. When we do an arousal from below, of course, there's Hamshachas Chaim, Chen, V'chesed. Hashem gives back life, grace, kindness. B'maisat tzedakah, through our acts of tzedakah. B'ratzon atev, with a good desire, v'seiv param yafas, and a pleasant countenance. In other words, when we give tzedakah generously, so it's arusa de l'yela, we bring down an arousal from above. And what's the arousal from above? The way you should probably read it is, b'sarusa l'tat, when you have an arousal from below, which is Hamshachas Chaim V'chesed, that you are giving life and grace and kindness. B'maisat tzedakah, to the act of tzedakah, b'ratzon atev, with good desire, v'seiv param yafas, and a pleasant countenance. So as a result, it's arusa de l'yela, the Eibishter gives back. And of course, what does Hashem give back? Yara the Shem Panav. He gives you His face. The face of Eibishter is wonderful, but you can't take it to the bank because it's Pnimis of Alakus. Hu ha'aras v'hamshachas chen v'chesed v'ratzon elyon. It brings down grace and kindness in the will of God. Michaya chaim ein tzei baruch, from the source of all living, which is the Eibishter. And here's the problem: Asher ligdul aseh, the greatness of Hashem, ein cheker v'asaga klal. You can't search it and you can't comprehend it at all. So you can't benefit from the Eibishter's returns, because it's bligavul, and therefore the Eitzah is, you want, just like you want your tzedakah to go up, you want the Eibishter's grace to come down, that it should come down el bechinas malchus chamalchus kol elam, to the madrega of malchus, which is called Alma Dizgai, the revealed world, because of the connection to the lower worlds. Hamachaye kol abruim, it gives life to all of the creations. Shebechal eichos l'yedim v'tachtenu, which are all the chambers of the world, those that are supernal and those that are down, low. Shehein, says the Alter Rebbe, the idea that it comes down into Malchus to give chayes to the lower world is bebchinas mispah v'cheshvan. The worlds are numbered, and the worlds have a cheshvan and a calculation, and the brach of the Eibishter has to become limited to reach the lower worlds. Similarly, your Reva Maisa and your Reva Cheshvan is affecting that the Eibishter should bring it down into cheshvan and into Maisa. As the pasuk says, Elaf alofim yishamshuni, the Eibishter is serviced by millions of malachim, millions still in number. Says the Alter Rebbe, Cheshvan Gadol. That's the pshat, the great Cheshvan. Shayadei v'maisa tzedakah. When you do much tzedakah, shalom, you create peace. What's the pshat? Peace. Peter shalom. What does peace mean? It brings together and makes reconciliation of two extremely opposite things. Shehein, which are the edge is the heavens above, which is beyond comprehension. And the other end of the heavens that come into the lower worlds, which are b'chinas gvul u'mispah, which are measured and limited, and with a number. And what you want to do is bring down from k'tzei hashamayim till k'tzei hashamayim, at the bleak gvul of Hashem to come into a mispah. So there's Reva Maisa. Reva Maisa affects Shalom. Shalom means to bring together two opposites, and Reva Cheshvan means bringing it down into Madrega of Cheshvan, which is Vidal. So Alter Rebbe is explaining why it's important not just to give tzedakah, but to give tzedakah a lot and often, because the a lot and the often affect the Shalom and the Amshach of the Brach of the Eibush and the Cheshvan. And we all want to be able to cash in the Brachas of Hashem as material blessings. And if we want to cash them in as material blessings, we have to do it often and a lot to bring it down to the Madrega of Cheshvan and the Madrega of Shalom. Got it? Not that complicated. Not that hard, right?